I'm not sure if anyone is going to be able to help me with this, or even take me seriously, but I figured here was probably the best place to post this. So, recently, I've been waking up with these long, deep scratches all over my body, from my legs, to my arms, and even my neck. I honestly don't know how they've got there. I've had people suggest that I must be scratching myself while I sleep. However, the only problem with that is I bite my fingernails, and they are way too short to inflict wounds similar to what I'm experiencing. It's getting me kind of worried, as people close to me are becoming concerned with how frequently new lacerations appear on my skin, as new ones seem to appear every 2 to 3 days. If someone is having a similar issue, or can offer a solution, please contact me. I'll make sure to update if the situation develops for better or worse. Update. Hi guys, so it's been a while. Over a year in fact. If I remember correctly, I told you all my story about how several times a week, I'd wake up with these long deep scratches all over my body. In the comments of that post, I had a few people suggest I set up a night vision camera to film me while I slept, so I can look back over the footage and hopefully get some answers. And that is exactly what I did. That same week, I went to my nearest electronics store and picked myself up a camera with a night vision function, a tripod, and an SD card with the most memory I could find. That same night, I set the camera up in my room and went to sleep as normal. Long story short, after reviewing the footage the next day, I found nothing out of the ordinary and had no fresh scratches either. I repeated this ritual for another few days, but still yielded no conclusive answers. And so, like with any other unsuccessful project, I got bored and pretty much forgot about the whole ordeal. I would still set up the camera each night through force of habit, but became much less scrupulous when examining the footage, and eventually stopped checking it altogether. I would still wake up with the odd scratch from time to time, but as the original video recordings had shown me nothing out of the ordinary, I rationally explained the scratches away with some fabricated excuse. Fast forward a month or so, and my family packed our lives into boxes and moved into a much smaller house as I was heading off to university that summer. My night vision camera and all its equipment were stowed away in boxes and chucked in the garage of the new house. When it came to going to university, I'd completely forgotten about the camera, and the scratches had since stopped after we'd moved into the new house. Now, fast forward to the present day, and the reason why I'm telling you this story. I'm currently in my second year of university, and my family decided to move house again over the summer. I'd just finished my first year of study, and was home for the summer helping my parents haul their belongings 20 minutes down the road to their new house. While unpacking boxes, I stumbled across my old night vision camera with all its equipment. Despite the memories of the previous year still relatively fresh in my mind, a wave of nostalgia took over my better judgment and beckoned me to look over the videos. When night fell, I armed myself with a 4-pack of Red Bull and began to trawl through the hours of footage. I would increase the playback speed and stop the footage occasionally whenever I thought I saw movement. It got to around 4:30 AM, and I was just about ready to give up after sitting through almost 6 nights worth of recordings and virtually finding nothing. But that was when I noticed something. At first, I was convinced that the caffeine was making me see things, but after going to the bathroom to splash some water in my face and rubbing my eyes, I was convinced that what I was seeing was real. At around 3 AM on the 6th night of recording, I noticed something in the corner of my room. A dark, humanoid-shaped mass just standing there, seemingly staring at me while I slept. I was terrified, but knew I had to continue watching if I wanted answers. I pressed play and set the playback speed for 1.5. For another 45 minutes, the figure just stood there, doing nothing but standing and staring. When it got to 4 AM, he simply vanished. Nothing else strange happened for the rest of the video. A bit shaken up, but curiosity still burning inside me, I loaded up the next night's worth of footage and hit play. Once again, at around 3 AM, I could see the same figure, just standing in my room, staring at me. But this time, I could have sworn he was closer than in the previous clip. Once again, he just disappeared when the clock struck 4 AM. For the next few days' worth of footage, the same chain of events would repeat. The figure would appear at 3 AM, seemingly closer than the night previous, and disappear exactly an hour later. This continued until I had viewed 11 nights worth of footage. I loaded up night 12, and sure enough, when the clock hit 3 AM, it was there. But only this time, he was right by my bed, leaning over me as I slept, so peacefully and unaware. I could feel myself beginning to sweat as the footage rolled on. I wasn't sure if this was out of fear or a side effect of the caffeine. Still, I watched on in trepidation as the figure extended a long, bony appendage out towards my sleeping frame and slowly dragged its 3 claws down the exposed skin of my left shoulder. This caused me to stir slightly, but for some reason, it didn't wake me. I sat there for a few moments, in shock and disbelief at what I'd just witnessed, before I closed my laptop, went to the bathroom, and threw up the contents of my stomach. The sun had already risen, but I knew I wouldn't be able to sleep even if it was still dark out, so I showered, got dressed, and went about my day as if nothing ever happened. I didn't sleep for about a week after that night, and I still have nightmares about what I saw on that video to this day. I refused to tell anyone about the footage or show it to the police in fear of being labelled as insane and thrown in some loony bin. It's taken me a year to come to terms with everything and post it somewhere where hopefully people will take it seriously. I'm not too sure what I'm looking for by posting this here. Answers, support, or for someone just to hear me out and not think I'm crazy. Anyway, thank you for reading regardless. Before I end this post, I'd like to leave you with a bit of advice. Some stones are best left unturned, as the curiosity of not knowing is often easier to live with than what you may find underneath.